Hello. As part of my job, I get to work with lovely elementary school children. What's so lovely about this group of children is that they all have one thing in common. Both of their parents work full-time 9-to-5 jobs, and they have no other option but to drop off their kids at our before and after school care program at the elementary school every Monday through Friday. Parents have no other viable option but to drop off their kids because they have full-time jobs to attend to in order to make a larger income. So as a result, at work, I get to see firsthand just how much these kids just want to go home because they've been at school anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. And they've also gone stir crazy and they start developing behavioral issues as a result. And they have no say in the matter because the parent's full-time job often takes priority over where they spend their time because it involves making a larger income. There's no other option but to feel bad for these kids, so it's only right to say that the larger income of two working parents is not worth the time spent away from family. So I have found that there are 3 important aspects that lead to why this is. First is quality time. Quality time is super important in a family, and parents need to be able to spend that time at home with their family and not spend all of it at work, at their full-time jobs. The second aspect that leads to this issue is job satisfaction. So parents also need to be happy in their job in order to be happy at home. And we'll find out that a lot of parents aren't happy in their full-time jobs, which lead to them not being happy when they get home, and that's just not a good fit. And the last reason would be expenses. The amount of expenses that 2 full-time working parents have on their family is far greater than the expenses that parents not working full-time jobs would have. So we'll get into what some of those expenses look like too. So with all of these concerns, it's just not worth it for both parents to spend all their time at a full-time job and invest all that time because they deserve to spend it with their families. And the ideas in this speech will help make it clear to understand. The first reason why the larger income of 2 working parents is not worth the time spent away from family is because of quality time. Both parents are working long hours, and they often get home late every night or they leave really early in the morning. In fact, an article about raising kids while 2 parents are working states that working long hours might mean that you get home after your children are in bed or you leave early before they even wake up. And you might hardly get to see them during the week, and even if you bring work home, this can affect how much time you have with your children too. So as a result, children are often spending time with people that are not their parents, like babysitters, nannies, grandparents, friends, because their parents are stuck at work. So as seen here, the most affected age group is children by their parents working full-time jobs. So as a result, in fact, about 75% of full-time employed parents use some form of childcare, according to the Center for American Progress. So while parents are occupied all day at work, it affects the children emotionally, academically, and behaviorally. So Jennifer Brozak, a writer for the Hello Motherhood blog, states that if children don't form a strong and essential bond with their parents at a young age, they're more likely to be more emotionally distressed than their peers. They don't perform as well academically and are less likely to graduate in the future. And they develop behavior problems such as aggression, delinquency, or as far out as future drug use. And that's all because the parents are not spending enough time at home because they're stuck at working their 9-to-5 full-time jobs. So as you can see, quality time has a big effect on the family. So the next reason why the larger income of 2 working parents is not worth the time spent away from family is because of job satisfaction. So parents are not happy at their jobs. And a Forbes magazine article referenced a study done by Gallup in 2018 stating that 66% of full-time employees worldwide are either actively disengaged or not engaged at all in their jobs. This shows that a lot of parents aren't happy in their jobs, and that's kind of a red flag. Parents need to be able to be satisfied with their jobs so that they can be happy at home. It might be wise for parents to look at part-time jobs where they are working for less hours. It's less demanding, less stressful, which allows them to be happier at work, which will then allow them to be happier at home with their families, spending that quality time. And although it is for a smaller income, doing the part-time job, a lot of parents are able to suffice on part-time job incomes. So on the subject of money, the last reason why the larger income of 2 working parents is not worth the time spent away from family is because of the amount of expenses that are demanded on 2 working parents who have full-time jobs and their family. These expenses could be anywhere from eating out more than normal because they're not home a lot to be able to cook home-cooked meals, or cleaning services because no one's at the house in the middle of the day to clean, and most importantly, childcare. So, Rashid Malik quoted in a study for Center for American Progress that 5.1 million working Americans spend an average of $250 a week on childcare alone. That is 10% of the average family income. That's a lot of money to be spending on childcare. So, specifically speaking, parents who do not use childcare have far less expenses than parents who do need to use childcare because it takes up a lot of money. So if parents are able to stay home more, especially during peak pickup times and drop-off times for school, there's no need for childcare, which eliminates that expense altogether. Although they might be able to afford it with their larger income, it's better to just cut the expense altogether, not have to worry about it, and put that stress on the family. So, in conclusion, with all of that to consider, the larger income of 2 working parents is just not worth the time spent away from family. Quality time is too vital for a child's upbringing. Job satisfaction, they need to be happy at work in order to be happy at home. And the amount of expenses goes way down when parents don't need to worry about childcare or other expenses. So every day at work, I get to see firsthand just how these kids deal with both of their parents having full-time jobs and being stuck at work, not able to pick them up on time, or even have to drop them off 2 hours early before school even starts just to get to their full-time job on time. It's something that the kids can't control because their parents' jobs are so demanding, and that's just not right for a kid. Their life shouldn't be a priority to 2 parents' full-time jobs. Family time should be valued more than a 9-to-5 job. And with that being said, the larger income of 2 working parents is just not worth the time spent away from family. Thank you.